The early years of the Wii. One of the best Mario games of all time, a soon-to-be cultural phenomenon, and a game everyone had because it sold with a Wii remote for cheap. Welcome to my Wii review series, where I will be going over some of my favorite games that sold on my favorite console. Surprisingly, the game full of minigames is, in my opinion, one of my favorites, so I will be going over the game today and ending the video with a ranking of the minigames worst to best. If you enjoy this video, please consider subscribing and liking the video, and let's dive into Wii Play. Like I mentioned before, this game is just a bunch of mini games that you can choose from. Billiards, fishing, charge, and tanks. These games primarily focus on the pointer of the Wii remote and do a pretty good job of showcasing its capabilities. You could even play every minigame with another person, which was really fun. The first minigame of the bunch, Shooting Range, is basically Duck Hunt but with a Wii remote and more variety of targets. You aim to hit as many things as you can in a row because it stacks bonus points. You start off with balloons, which slowly rise into the air, then you move on to targets, which you shoot as fast as possible while avoiding ones with your face on them. After targets comes the clay discs. If you hit them immediately, it gives you extra points, and generally you don't want to let them get too far out of range. After that you have cans, which you have to keep in the air. And last is the UFO round, where you have to protect your Miis from being abducted. Throughout each round you will see random ducks fly across the screen, which reward a lot of points if you can hit them. Next is Find Me, which is one of those games where you search the screen for something and click on it as fast as possible. Each level rewards you 10 seconds of time to the clock you have, and the game ends when you run out of time. The game often has you look for identical Miis on the screen, but sometimes it will ask for a Mii that is acting differently than the others. This game starts off really easy and then slowly gets more difficult with each level. Usually you will cruise through the game until you reach a level that takes you most, if not all of your time. If you have played this game, then you know the stressful feeling of when this starts playing. Table tennis has to be the most simple of all, but it is pretty popular nonetheless. You want to rally for as long as possible, with the speed of the game increasing as you go. The extra challenge is that your partner is not on the same page as you and tends to throw a curveball every once in a while. It's pretty challenging and requires a lot of focus and accuracy. After table tennis is Pose Me, which is another challenging game. You have to drag the cursor to all of the bubbles on the screen. If a bubble hits the bottom, then you lose a life. You only have 3 lives to play with in this one, so you will lose them very fast. There are 3 poses that you have to alternate between on top of the different angles to put them at with each bubble. There are some rainbow ones which can bail you out in some scenarios, with basically a screen pause to let you catch up. This game starts to get insane when the bubbles start falling quickly, and each one having a different pose on them. Following that is Laser Hockey, which is exactly what it seems. You have a pretty interesting theme for the course, and attempt to score on the other team's goal. Generally, the winner is decided by who can own goal the least, as somehow it's very easy to do in this game. After that we have Billiards, which is really cool. There's not too much to say for this one other than the fact that my Wii remote never really liked this one, but it does a great job simulating a game of pool overall. Next is Fishing, and this one is honestly the most unique out of all of them. You aim to catch fish, no surprise, but there's a bonus fish that you aim to catch to earn double points. People often don't like this one because of the janky controlling, but I never had a problem with that. However, I do have a problem with the fish. They never want to cooperate, as you will have the smaller fish swarming your bait when you want to target the larger ones. It is just unfair to have the target fish take 5 bites when these idiots that give you negative points are always pulling it away. After fishing we have Charge, which is a pretty cool one. The goal is to reach the end as quickly as possible while you destroy a bunch of scarecrows with a cow. It's always a lot of fun to play this one, even if turning can be a nightmare. The last game of Wii Play is Tanks, which had a lot more work put into it than the other games combined. You control a toy tank and take out all the other tanks in each level. You have 3 lives and gain 1 every 5 levels. For controlling, you can either shoot bullets that bounce off walls once, or lay proximity mines on the ground. You will see a lot of different tanks as you play. The brown ones are a total joke. They shoot once every blue moon and can't move. The gray tanks are a bit more challenging, but they can only fire once in a while and move pretty slow. The teal tanks are the gray tanks, but they fire missiles. A lot of people are afraid of these things, but they can't touch you if you keep moving. Yellow tanks just love to blow stuff up. Enough said. Red tanks can shoot more rapidly than other tanks and are a bit more challenging, but not as challenging as the green tanks. The green ones are supercomputers that calculate your every move and fire double ricocheting missiles towards you at rapid speeds. These can eat up your lives fast and are easily the hardest tank in the game. Purple tanks are not as bad as the green ones, but are so aggressively defensive that they can outsmart you sometimes. On the quote-unquote final mission, you will face white tanks, which I'll just show you. So you finally beat level 20, but the job isn't done yet. Little did you know that there are 100 missions. The worst part is that after level 20, it's basically just luck from that point, because all maps and tanks are randomized from that point besides every 10 levels. There are even black tanks that start showing up after level 50 that are teal tanks on steroids. Anyways, now that I've gone over each game, let's rank them from worst to best. Number 9, Pose Me. This game is just more stressful than fun. Having to switch poses, rotate the remote, and drag your Mii all at once is just too much. Number 8, Laser Hockey. Things get better from here as this one is at least fun. Plus, the whole theme is really cool. Number 7, Table Tennis. This one gets pretty repetitive quickly, but multiplayer mode is pretty fun. Number 6, Billiards. It's a pretty fun pool simulator, not much more to it. Number 5, Charge. This one is right around the middle for being really fun, however it's pretty forgettable in my opinion. Number 4, Fishing. I love fishing in real life, and while this game isn't a good representation, it's still a lot of fun. However, it is so hard to get the fish you want, and it is super frustrating when the small fry pulls your line every 2 seconds. Number 3, Shooting Range. It's a classic idea that was improved upon. It makes you want to get a better score with each game. Number 2, Find Me. I've always been a fan of these sort of games. There's a decent amount of variety as well. Number 1, Tanks. I think just Tanks is straight up worth the whole game by itself. The levels aren't the same each time besides the first 20 levels, and it requires a lot of strategy as well. And that's the video. I love this game even after all these years, and I would recommend it. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see y'all in the next one. Have a good one.
Bruh.
Nope. Another one.
No, don't do it!
No! Another one. And another one.
Guess who's back?
No!
It was at this moment he knew.
Hello there.